Everything is broken, and nothing's going right.
Hello and welcome to Basement Fodder, the only show that you're currently listening to for the third straight episode in a row. Holy shit, man.
Dun, dun, dun.
We're on a roll. We're on a roll. The only show that you're listening to who one of the hosts is like all hopped up on goofballs and shit because I had more dental work done today and that was super fucking fun. And not at all when you take like 12 fucking needles in the mouth to get yourself numb for 2 fucking teeth to be pulled. Although when I sent Ariel a message, I had to get 12 shots in the mouth. She was like, "Man." 12 shots in the mouth, you say?
By the way, he's Todd. I'm Dave.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right.
He's all goofballs and rambling. So
I'm gonna do my best to be as lucid as possible, but I'm also like several Vicodin it in. So.
It's going to be somewhere in between a regular show and like one of the Christmas shows.
So yeah, let's throw the disclaimer on there. Like the views of Fucked Up Todd are not necessarily the views of the Basement of Doom Incorporated.
I don't know about that. Dave's rooting for it.
All right, so since our last show, we were talking a lot about the Big Ellen DeGeneres schmoz.
Oh yeah,
more news has happened on that front.
Yeah.
Today, the news dropped that 3 of the main producers of the show have all been shit-canned.
Yeah. Like, just came in and cleaned house, apparently.
I'll cite source for tvline.com because we get a lot of news stuff from there. But Ed Glavin, who is the executive producer, Kevin Lehman, who's the other executive producer, and then co-executive producer Jonathan Norman have all been fired. And then they're keeping a couple of other ones. Mary McConnelly, Andy Lasner, and Derek Westervelt will continue to executive produce.
Well, Andy's the one they always send through the haunted house, so people love him because he's a giant, goober.
Yeah.
And stuff, so.
And then apparently their DJ, Steven Twitch Boss, I don't know. I don't know DJ names.
Yeah, he was from, he's also a dancer.
He's apparently been promoted to executive producer.
Yeah, he was in
co-executive
a bunch of the Step Up movies. The later Step Up movies from being a dancer.
Are you gonna be public about your love for the fucking Step Up movies right now?
My mom liked dance movies.
Of all of the things that are weird that we're randomly into, this is the weirdest one of you for me.
Really?
Yes, I don't know why. Like, boy bands didn't faze me.
Yeah.
Because that one I get that too.
I like...
But for some, like, dance movies, that one really...
You like musicals.
I do.
And I like dance movies.
But, like, yeah, it's just weird, man. Like, you don't like musical stuff at all when it comes to movies, except for dance movies.
Yeah.
That's so weird.
Yeah. Because, like, deep down inside, I always wish I could dance like that, but I can't.
You wanna, like... fucking street dance and shit?
Yeah. Oh, shit, yeah. I had a bunch of friends that were, like, really good street dancers, and my mom said even since I was, like, a young, like, little kid, that whenever she would play music, I would always dance around. So, like, imagine, like, a 2-3-year-old me and fucking running around in my shorts just dancing around to, like, whatever was playing at the time.
I can't do it, man. Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Like, deep down inside, I always wanted to be a dancer, but I'm way too self-conscious about shit like that. Like,
I have no ability to dance whatsoever. I mean, you've seen me attempt to dance before. I have, like, I can, like, move, but my feet don't move.
Yeah.
If I try to move my feet, I get completely fucking confused.
Yeah, my mind tends to, like, I want to do it, and naturally I'll start to do it, and then my mind's like, hey, what are you doing?
Hey, what are you doing?
Yeah, what are you doing?
What are you doing? Go dance. Go dance in public.
Yeah, that's pretty much how it goes. But yeah, I love dance movies. Like, not all of them, but like I love intricate, like really well choreographed, like dance movies and stuff like that.
Well, I would say like I am very like terrified to fucking dance in public, but the dead mother of Doom recently got married.
Yeah,
and her fucking. Ariel goes and tells the DJ to play the fucking That Thing You Do song, of course, because, like, that's, me and Sadie share that movie, that's one of our favorites and shit, and, like, man, I got out there and, like, danced my ass off, like, was doing moves with her and choreographing and shit.
And the mom
it was a level of fucking, don't talk about that. It was a level of ridiculous, like,
Sugar. Yeah.
It was very sugar.
Yeah.
But the Ellen thing, like, it's just getting worse and worse, man. Like, I don't know what to say.
Well,
like, I feel
you said earlier this week, Anne Heche came out to try.
She
and,
did.
Like,
she came out in defense, and like that's cool. I appreciate. Like, but it's like she wasn't directly defending her in the respect, like, I don't think these things are true. It was more like the time that we spent together was positive and, like, we had a good, time. But she was talking a lot about, like, being proud to be part of, like, all the things that happened when they were a couple.
Yeah.
Because they broke a lot of barriers down and shit. But she talked very openly about the fact that because she took Ellen as her date to the fucking 6 Days, 7 Nights premiere, the Volcano premiere.
Yeah.
That they literally escorted them out.
Yeah.
Of the premiere of a fucking movie she was in.
Yeah.
Like, just because she brought a female date.
Yeah.
Like, that's like, what, 97?
I think so, yeah.
96,
97.
Be thankful. I'm thankful that we've gotten to a point where shit like that doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah.
Like, there's still dumbass, weehaws and shit that fucking do that stuff.
The only thing that, like, and I said this when you told me about this originally, is, like, the problem is like, Anne Heche's reputation...
Not great either. She's kind of universally known as a cuntbag, too.
Yeah, she's been universally said is very difficult to work with as well. Like, she's very, I do it this way, and that is the way I will do it, and very, like, not... Like, I know Harrison Ford hated that time he had to work with her.
Yeah, I know. He was, pretty open about the fact that was a fucking miserable experience.
Yeah. So it's like one of those things where it's like, that's great that somebody kind of, like, has been, like, came out to kind of try and defend, but at the same time, it was, like, one of those things where it's like, unfortunately, the person that came to defend her isn't, one of the ones that, had like a great reputation, so you're like, shit, I don't know.
No, it's true. It's just, I don't know, like, it feels like all the defending that she's getting is just getting ripped down to shreds completely.
Is, because this is what they want. They have, like we said, in the court of public opinion, enough people have come out against, like, saying how she is, or at least their interactions with her, that I think that people are, like, them trying to fire the executives is like, cool. That's probably... It's
a Band-Aid.
It is, but they want it all. Like,
but the thing is, like, again, that shit doesn't come out of nowhere. So, like, with her, I have heard over the years in general, and, like, she comes off that way as, like, a sarcastic, kind of dickish person. And I think it's the same shit that happened with Rosie O'Donnell years ago. Yeah. Is like, you get this reputation for having the squeaky clean show. I have a leg cramp. I stood up. Okay. Dave's like looking at me like, what the fuck?
Like, are you going somewhere?
No, pull the hammy! No, I got like a fucking Charlie horse. I was trying to be discreet, but fuck it. No, I'm standing up now. Thank God for the omnidirectional microphone.
Yeah.
But no, like, I think it's like people, because the show was like nice and shit, they got this idea that she was a squeaky clean person, but she's never been that person.
No, really. But it's like, it's daytime television, they want everybody to be like, daytime. Yeah. Everybody's so nice during the daytime and shit. All the snarky is at the, like, nighttime shows and stuff. Like, it is. If you've ever looked at, like, any of this stuff, the way they portray daytime hosts versus nighttime hosts is like, the daytime hosts are the super sweet, caring, nice, give you shit people, whereas the nighttime hosts are the very, like, Letterman, Leno, snarky, kind of darker.
Like fucking Stephen Colbert and Corden and all those guys and shit.
Yeah.
Well, I think Corden's pretty much nicey nice guy or whatever. Look at Jimmy Kimmel, he's a fucking giant douchebag.
Yeah.
And fucking Jimmy Fallon, I hate that son of a bitch.
But even Jimmy's not really that, like, a douchebag or anything. Like,
no, he's just a doober. Jimmy Kimmel just will tell you whatever the fuck he thinks. He doesn't really care.
But that's the thing, is they try to portray that image like all the assholes are on the nighttime shows and all the daytime shows are the nice, innocent people.
But it's just not that way. Like I said, that shit happened with Rosie O'Donnell years ago, and then she was the first one to be like, hey, I know you all think that I'm a nice person, but I'm gay, I don't fucking care, and leave me alone. Basically, like, you can all go fuck yourself. Because, like, it went down because when Tom Selleck was on her show, like, talking about NRA shit, like, she ripped him a new asshole for being fucking a right-wing, gun-loving fuck, basically.
Yeah.
It was like, you know, you take that pride out of my cold dead hand shit and shove it up your ass.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, oh, she's supposed to be so nice. I'm like, y'all forgot that this was a fucking hardcore comedian from Jersey and shit who is openly gay, does not fucking care,
like,
and will tell you to go fuck yourself.
Y'all forget who she was in A League of Their Own?
Yeah, y'all forgot that Rosie O'Donnell was a fucking badass, like, just because she was nice and geeked over Tom Cruise. Like, these people are still the same people. They're just framed differently.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you know what? I like Ellen. I've always liked Ellen. I was a faithful watcher of her show back in the day.
I enjoy the
sitcom
show,
or whatever.
Yeah,
like,
I enjoyed the show that she does now, and I think she's done a lot of good work for her stuff. But, like, it's that same thing, like, when athletes get caught doing things, and everybody's like, but you're a role model and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, but they're still a person first.
They're still a person, yeah.
They're flawed. Everybody's flawed.
And I'm not going to make excuses for her. If she actually did this shit, then fuck you.
Yeah,
like, don't fucking do that. It's not okay.
Yeah.
But I also kind of understand the perspective of, like, being in that weird-ass bubble that she's in.
Yeah.
And people constantly fucking, you know, making for her and stuff. Like, it's a weird fucking thing to be.
Yeah. You're like, I don't have any idea what's actually going on.
But I don't know. We'll keep watching it and see what the fuck happens. But
because eventually it's going to blow over or she's going to get fired. Like those are the two things. It's going to get called for.
Other big fucking thing that's happening right now, as far as, you know, big national news shit, is the Dolly Parton Black Lives Matter stuff.
This one I found hysterical. This is like if somebody was like, if he was still alive, like John Denver. Like,
right.
You know, like,
the thing is, again, it's the same thing I said about Rosie O'Donnell, but it's the truth with Dolly, too. If you followed her career and herself in general, Dolly gives zero fucks about anything. Like, she will straight up tell you, like, people are like, oh, you have plastic surgery? She's like, yeah, I have it all the time. I like to look good.
Well,
you wear wigs. Yep, I like those, too.
She doesn't care
care
about the court of public opinion.
No, she does not give a fuck what people think about her.
If she is into a thing, that she is into that. Like, if she cares about something, she will care about it no matter what anybody tells her. Like, oh, that's stupid or that's dumb, and she's like, I don't give a fuck. Like,
you don't have to like it. I do.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's my money. I'm going to do what I want with it and shit like that. And like, she came out and made a very heartfelt, like, you know, thing about like we're all goddamn people, and like the fact that you guys are looking at people in different like levels as far as like caring about each other. She's like, what the fuck? That makes no goddamn sense. And basically came out and supported the Black Lives Matter thing. And holy crap, it's like you dropped a fucking like nuke on the entire like
yeah. My favorite thing that I saw, and I shared it, if you guys saw it on Facebook, I shared it, a lot of you guys reacted to it, but like it was the one fucking chick who's running for Congress. It was like, oh, I just can never listen to it. I'm so horribly disappointed. Like,
he broke
my heart's broken. I was like, you're heartbroken because someone's not a racist? Go back to hell where you belong. Go fuck yourself.
It's one of those things where...
Isn't it funny? Isn't it funny?
Uh-oh.
That those who drape themselves in the fucking Bible and in scripture and shit are the biggest fucking... And then not all of them, of course, because I've known a lot of wonderful people that are Christian and believe in God. But the ones that are the loudest mouth jackasses,
the ones that want to
fucking use that shit like a televangelist to fucking shame other people and spread hatred and shit. And you know what? If that's what you want to do, hey, go fuck yourself.
Well, we were watching a clip from this. This is kind of plays into it. It was Anderson Cooper and
the fucking MyPillow guy.
MyPillow guy. And in the thing, Anderson's just ripping him apart, calling him basically a snake oil salesman and shit. And
he's a fucking snake oil salesman.
Yeah, but he does. I've seen this thing done, and I don't understand like if this is like. If it's supposed to be, like, done in a way where it's, like, it's supposed to be like, oh, because you're an atheist or you don't believe what I believe, this is going to be, like, a sucker punch to you.
Yeah,
but they're like, you're in my prayers and stuff like that. And I'd be like, how dare you? Like, I don't understand where this thing becomes the, like, bat you're trying to swing over their head. Well, you'll be in my prayers. And I'd be like, okay.
It's the, like, super fucking close-minded Jesus equivalent of go fuck yourself. Like... I'm gonna pray for you. Oh!
We go.
What are you gonna do? Pray my dick falls off? Like, like, get him, Jesus!
You pray for my salvation with a lead pipe? Like, Jesus Christ, man! Like, what the shit?
And listen to me, like, you could not get a more disparate set of views than Dave and I, because I'm not like a super fucking fastidious churchgoer or anything, but I am Christian.
Yeah.
I do believe in God. I do believe in Christ.
Uh-huh.
Dave is obviously the opposite in that direction. Like, you can say what you believe in if you want to, but like,
I fall under pagan.
Yeah, exactly. And we've been best friends for fucking 10 plus years, and neither one of us give a rat's ass about that. No. You don't have to give a fuck about stuff like that.
But it's like, because like, neither of our beliefs.
I'll try to shove my show at you, and you don't try to shove it at me.
Well, that I've never like used it, like try to use it like a weapon type thing. I just don't understand that. But it was fucking hilarious, and to see all these people who it's like all of a sudden like, oh God, Dolly Parton betrayed us, and I'm like, obviously
by not being a racist, she somehow betrayed you. Like,
my thing is like, okay, even like, great, you're a racist and stuff like that. Where in any of Dolly's life, songs, anything she's ever done, did you get this misinformed idea that she was like against people of color? Like, I don't know where they got this
because
from.
It's this thing, it's this stereotype where if you're Southern, you're automatically racist. It's fucked up, and it's not true.
It's hilarious.
But there's like too much out there, you know?
It's hilarious too, considering the numbers scale is like versus like people that live in the South. I'm like, you guys realize you're outnumbered like way much, right? It's like, I don't understand where this comes from.
I'm gonna tell you right now, like, if you're offended by anything that's being said right now when it comes to this shit, I will tell you, and I already made my fucking post about this shit. I come from a black family.
So do I.
My father is black. My sister is mixed.
Yep.
I don't give a shit about your goddamn racism. Take it. Just fold it up as small as you can and shove it right the fuck up your fucking chuck hole.
No, I want you to like barely fold it so it's big and tears a lot, so you have a lot of anal bleeding.
I will tell you absolutely that this show 100% wholeheartedly supports Black Lives Matter.
Yes, we do.
Absolutely. And any of you motherfuckers that want to say White Lives Matter,
after that now.
Yeah. Any of you motherfuckers that want to go White Lives Matter, every life matters, shit, you can take that shit and shove it also right up your chuck hole.
Exactly.
Because it doesn't need to be said. The fact that all lives matter does not need to be said. That's a fucking given. That every life is precious in some fucking way. It's the people who are getting goddamn persecuted every fucking day that we need to talk about.
Well, no, the funny thing about that, though, is it like...
We're getting way too political. I should have taken pills.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm just going to go ahead and say the thing that people say that, and then their actions prove that even every life matters doesn't actually matter because of their actions during the pandemic. But... I digress.
I'm sick of it, to be honest. Like, I'm sick of living in this fucking world right now.
Well, it's funny because...
Listening to Michelle Obama's made me, like, fucking, like, hard for a new life.
Yeah, we listened to the Michelle Obama.
You ever gotten a political erection before? Because, like, seriously...
Michelle Obama
makes me feel ways about things, man.
Classy way.
She is so fucking cool. Like, if I could be like fucking Michelle Obama, I would be, man. Like... I got a lot of respect for that lady. Go watch her. I'm not going to talk about it, but go watch her fucking DNC speech because it is worth it.
What's funny is on the opposite end of the spectrum of the Dolly thing is Unknown Henson.
Unknown Henson. So I'm a big Squidbillies fan. I always have been. I fucking love Squidbillies. And I also love weird rockabilly music. I do.
Weird rockabilly, I like. Squidbillies, to a degree, I like. It. For me, it kind of goes under that thing where it's like, too much make fun of the white trash thing. I can only handle so much of it before it becomes... I
get it.
Like, it stops...
I've watched it ever since it started.
Oh, yeah.
Like, not consistently. Like, I haven't watched it in a couple years. I haven't had cable in forever.
There are definitely funny moments in the show.
But yes, God, I quote early all the time. I have a fucking vinyl early, like, up on the shelf up there. So, Unknown Henson, if you don't know... Well, his real name's Stuart Baker. He's the voice of Early Kyler on Squidbillies. He goes by the name of Unknown Henson. It's his stage character that he uses for rockabilly. He does this very wacky, kind of like goofy rockabilly thing where he's like a 300-year-old vampire Elvis, basically.
He literally looks like if somebody took Elvis and Johnny Cash and
The Crypt Keeper.
And the Crypt Keeper and, like, old version of Dick Clark and put them all together. Like, he looks like a corpse painted up to look alive.
Yeah.
Like, it's just insane. And he's old as shit. He's, like, 70, almost 80. And
the thing is, like, he was born in 1954, so, my God, he's younger than I would have expected him to be, my God. Let's see, if he was born in 54, how old does that make him? Oh, God, I can't do math right now, let's see.
He's 70-ish.
Yeah, he's like 70-ish. Like, this is a guy who has, released some ridiculous songs. Like, I was trying to remember, I used to have, like, a whole fucking Unknown Henson playlist from forever ago.
Yeah.
But, like, he seriously has, like, a song, I distinctly remember this one where it's called Man to Man, and where he's talking about, like, his ex-wife who had a sex change. Like, the actual lyrics is, man to man, you're still a woman to me. Like, this is the kind of motherfucker that we're dealing with. He has a song called I Cleared Out a Room in My Trailer for You. Like, these are things that you should be thinking about. So, obviously, and he voices fucking early Kyler, which is, like, a ridiculous fucking character who's obviously extremely weird and racist and all that shit.
Yeah. So
he made a big fuss about Dolly supporting BLM, and he called her, like, a freak-titted bitch. Like, this is a direct quote. Freak-titted bitch is what he said.
I think the thing, too, is, like, he wasn't just like, oh, I disagree with her. He got very...
Called her a bimbo and a slut.
Yeah, belligerent.
And then she, what did she say? He said she betrayed her, like, heritage and shit. I'm
stuff,
like, are you literally, like, a Klansman?
Yes.
Like, my God, dude.
I think he probably
And everybody's like, oh, shock, like, they need to fire him and cancel Squidbillies. And I'm like, have you never watched the show before? Did you think that this guy was just a masterful actor? Like, he wasn't an actor before the show existed. He was just a fucking guy who sang rockabilly with a weird character.
Yeah. That's what got him the
That
show.
is him!
Yeah.
Like, he is fucking early Kyler!
Yeah.
Like,
they literally built the character for him.
yes, it was literally based on him. The thing, and like, he's been dropped by the guitar company. They had a signature series guitar of his, like Reverend Guitars, and they dropped the product and him completely from their shit.
Yeah,
like, he's been fired from Adult Swim, from fucking Squidbillies and shit. I'm like, well, you might as well just say the show's over, because you literally cannot do that show without him.
No,
you can't. Like, it doesn't exist without Early. Yeah. That's the whole fucking point. Like, but I just, like, I'm dumbfounded at the level of shock that people are that this guy is an old hillbilly racist, basically.
I think it is because, like, one, most of them, if they're Squidbilly fans, like, if you look at, like, a lot of the people who are actors on Adult Swim stuff are actually pretty, like, weirdly progressive comedians and stuff.
Yes, he's the exception to that rule,
is the very much, like, no. Like, and I think that's where it kind of, I think they thought it was just an actor, not like, this is who he is.
No.
But, like, no, this Unknown, like, Early Kyler is Unknown Henson. Like, that's literally...
Yeah. To an extent, it's a character, of course, and he said that before, but, like, this is this guy.
But this is who he is to a degree. Like, this is just a and man, like, he then posted, and it got deleted and stuff, where he basically did that, like, oh, thanks, you assholes, you all got me fucking, you ruined my life. And he portrays himself like a hero, like, I was such a good man, and, like, you just kicked a guy while he was down, and, like...
Yeah, I mean, you'd think he'd have, weird orange skin and fucked up hair.
Like, like, basically, he just... Because of what he said, he's basically not taking any responsibility for the fact that he attacked another person for just saying...
For not being racist!
For not being racist and respecting other life. He literally...
It's such a weird thing for people.
And he came out and viciously, aggressively, like, ripped into her, and then got fucking paid, like, flack for it and shit. He was all like, oh, I'm the victim here, because I'm the good person. And I'm like, I don't know where you thought this was the
Yeah, he was like, you took down a good man. I'm like, dude, I'm a fan, like, of your work.
But
you as a person is kind of a shithole.
Yeah, like, would I say you were a good person? I don't know you personally, but the things that
not from the evidence presented.
Yeah, I was going to say, the things that you say, You could have just kept your fucking mouth shut and kept your opinions to yourself, but you wanted to step into the ring and fucking, do some verbal fisticuffs, and, well, you got smacked the fuck back down, because, whether she is a big tittied, freaky, whatever, and stuff like that, A, she don't give a fuck, and B, the people that do like her truly for who she is don't give a fuck about your opinion. In fact, they're just like, hey, you want to step up? Cool, we'll knock you down.
And she'd slap you in your old ass mouth anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Fucking Dolly.
I bet I got 20 that says Dolly Parton would still knock his old ass the fuck out.
Yep.
Like, what happened? Dolly beat his ass.
She's been kicking ass for fucking 40 years now. She ain't going nowhere. Like,
no.
I'm just like, whatever, fuck them. Like, as much as I enjoy the product, I don't give a fuck if that's the kind of person
No,
you
but
are.
it's just crazy, because it's like...
I will miss the show, but, not your...
But there's always reruns.
And that's the thing, though, like, can you still enjoy that shit? It's like we talked about before, like, with watching Benoit matches or something, like, it's...
And this is where we differ, because I can't. Because there's a level of separation that I can have where...
It's hard for me.
It's hard and stuff. I get that. I will always have like a sad place in my heart and stuff for it, because like when I see it, it's the same thing as like when I watch Eddie matches. Not so much when I watch Owen, because
Eddie and Owen are different though, because they just died.
They did, but it's
Benoit killed his family.
But the thing is like, I know the science behind what happened. It was one of those things where it's like, it's not like he was the first guy ever on steroids to do this shit. It's one of those things where it's like, and I also put blame on the company, because
I absolutely do too.
Their whole thought about the micro concussions and treated that like if anybody was a glaring shining case for like micro concussions, it was Benoit.
Well, when they did the CTE, so, like, they said that he had, like, basically the brain of a fucking 85-year-old Alzheimer's patient.
That's what I'm saying. So
and
it's
we
like,
went in a weird tangent there.
It's one of those I can separate, because I understand it's like, was he there when it happened? Would Chris Benoit, truly at his core, who he was, have done this? Hell no. Would Chris Benoit, who's so hopped up on, like, steroids and basically have the mind of a fucking, like, just jacked out, fucking, not there person do it? Yes, because you've seen alcoholics who are more there to, like,
it's the equivalent of having, like, fucking dementia, basically.
Yeah,
like,
and so it's like one of those things where it's like,
I get that, I do get that, but it's still hard.
Oh, yeah.
Like, Kevin Spacey's a good example of that. Like, I haven't watched any Kevin Spacey movies or shows or anything like that since that shit happened, because it changed my opinion of him as a person, and it fucking pissed me off, because I loved him as an actor. I'm a huge fan, and I still think he's one of the greatest actors of his generation.
That's the other thing, is I can look at the Kevin Spacey and be like, he made a choice to do these things.
Yeah, he absolutely.
Like, no matter what you all think about weird, like, pedosexuality, he made a choice to do these things, whereas, like, some of the other situations, was it a choice? Not really. Type of thing. So, like, there's a level of separation I can have. Now, Squidbillies, the thing is, for me, I come into that show already knowing this is what it is and stuff. It's like Trailer Park Boys. I know exactly what this is and stuff like that. If you have any thoughts to the contrary of what these shows are, like Letterkenny,
Letterkenny,
same thing like that. Like, these shows play on the stereotype. That's what they do. So it's like, if you think, oh, no, they're not going to be like that. Yes,
they absolutely will.
They are. So, like, will it ruin the show for me? No, because I never had high expectations of what it was.
That's fair.
But will I be as apt to want to watch a bunch of the reruns? Probably not.
Like, I'm not going to go out of my way to watch it now.
No.
But I really wasn't doing anyway. But I don't know.
He's still got one-liners that I love.
Yeah, God.
That's always going to happen.
I don't know. It's always a fucked up situation.
But it's just a level.
But
of,
it
like,
weirdly
separation.
ties into that, because, like, I was going to talk about this anyway, but this is like a weird segue, but go with me on it.
Oh, yeah.
We watched Django Unchained last night, which I hadn't actually seen
still
before.
have never seen it.
He hasn't seen it. Errol and I watched it, because we've been doing this thing where we, like, watch a movie every night instead of, like, watching random videos and shit, because we don't have cable, so we just use the streaming stuff. Like,
usually either it's YouTube or sometimes you just sit on the phone. I got rid of TikTok, by the way.
Already? Yeah. That was quick.
Well, because I found I didn't really use it unless I was hanging out with you guys while you were on your TikTok, and they're like, hey, look at this, and then I'd go look up things, but honestly on myself, I was just like,
if she sends me videos, I will look at them, but I don't really sit there and go through it myself very much.
So.
I don't want to talk about TikTok. Like,
TikTok.
I'm a little. It's a little bit much.
Yeah.
But like we watched Django last night, and Ariel's like, "I'm going to warn you before you watch this movie that like this is there's a lot of fucked up shit." And I'm like, "Yeah, I've seen Roots. It's cool. Like, I understand. Like." But, like, I've literally never heard the N-word more in anything in my life. Like, I grew up listening to Richard Pryor records. Like,
I was about to say.
Holy Jesus. Like, and the thing is, it's obviously,
Murphy,
it is about that.
Richard Pryor, like, all those guys. Come on, like, Blazing Saddles.
No, still.
Like,
my God, I think it tops all of them.
Oh, no, I know it does. But the thing is, it's like, also... No offense to Quentin, he did that on purpose.
No, it's meant to be that. That's fine.
Yeah, he tried to go for that. So, like, it's not one of those...
Do you ever wonder, though, like, for Jamie Foxx and the other, like, you know, actors of color and stuff that are in the movie, like, do you ever feel like that they're looking at, like, how much you enjoying saying this, motherfucker? Like,
well, I mean, there was that, there was the, where Jamie Foxx was on, Joe Rogan's podcast, and they were talking about Robert Downey Jr. doing blackface on
the Tropic Thunder movie
and stuff, and it was like one of those things because I think Robert called him or was talking to him about it and stuff, and I mean I don't know. I think it's kind of one of those things like when I go to comedians and stuff where it's like there are comedians where they say things just to say things, and then there are the comedians that say fucked up shit, but then kind of like call your attention to it.
Yeah.
And like I use Mind of Mencia and Dave Chappelle, like as two very like because there was Dave Chappelle, and his skits were fucked up. There was a lot of fucked up stuff, and it called attention to a lot of fucked up things, and they were written in a way where it's like, isn't this fucked up? You know, kind of situation. Like a lot of weird stuff like that. But then when he left, they tried to replace him with Mencia. Yeah. And the thing is, other than being a giant fucking joke thief, which I applaud Joe Rogan for fucking wanting to beat his ass for, but like the thing is, none of his humor called attention to like inequalities to these things. He literally was just sitting there dogging his own race.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And it was one of those things where it's like he's saying fucked up shit, but he's not being like, isn't this fucked up? Call attention to it. He's like more like, this is fucked up. Like, I'm going to say fucked up shit, and you're going to be like, oh, that's fucked up, and then you'll watch the videos more and stuff, and it's like...
Making fun of retarded people constantly.
Yes, oh, yeah, constantly. Or whatever and stuff he used to do. The thing is like, you get filmmakers that will... show you fucked up things.
I'm sorry, mentally handicapped people. It's not okay to say retarded anymore. I'm pilled out. I'm sorry,
but like they will show you graphic things. You will hear graphic things. You will see the graphic stuff. But then, if they're a good filmmaker, it'll make you think about it. It will draw the attention, and you'll be like, oh, damn, okay, cool. The shitty ones. The ones that are just doing it, you can tell because there's no substance to it. You don't feel like afterwards that you learned anything. Not necessarily learned, but you don't feel like you were like, oh, wow, I didn't realize that. You're just like, they use that word a lot. Like, holy shit. Like, could that person have said that word anymore? Like,
but I will say, like, besides all that wackiness or whatever, like, I know I'm 8 years late to the game on this shit, because for some reason...
I mean, I'm still...
Okay, I'll tell you exactly why I put it off for so long, because I fucking hate Leonardo DiCaprio with every literal ounce of my being, and it's nothing he did wrong, it's just my fucked up mid-spent teenager years.
It's really, he doesn't hate Leonardo DiCaprio, he hates his younger self for doing what he did.
14 times I paid to watch Titanic in the goddamn theater because my ex-girlfriend was obsessed with it, and I was really just obsessed with sex.
Yeah.
And knew I would get it more if I did this, but 14 times 3.5 hours apiece. That's just the theater, because we also watched it a shitload of times at home, too.
Oh, yeah, I'm
and
sure.
the fucking, it's not just that movie, though. It was the fucking Romeo and Juliet, The Man in the Iron Mask. All that shit.
Because she was super
on
obsessed.
Fucking repeat. Like, she was just double-clicking her fucking mouse to fucking DiCaprio like every other girl.
You were just trying to double-click her mouse.
And I'm like, I'm just trying to double-click your mouse. Like, fucking... So yes, my hatred of him has nothing to do with him. He's a brilliant actor. But,
It's just that you had to watch all of his movies over and over.
No,
just
I
to get
literally
your girlfriend
avoided
excited. So
I've never seen Shutter Island, which I was interested in. Never seen that. I didn't see Inception. I didn't see this. I haven't really seen anything.
The Great Gatsby,
no,
like all
nothing.
that stuff. Yeah,
nothing
it sucks
that he's
because
done.
all the shit that you got forced to watch
Is the bad shit.
It was all the teen dream shit. And not his great acting stuff, and now all the good acting
Wolf of Wall Street, which I've heard is amazing, and
it's all tainted because of
it's all tainted.
Oh god damn, that sucks.
Tainted forever because of my misspent teenage sex capades. But anyway, the movie is fucking amazing.
Yep.
It's if you grew up like I did watching like Sergio Leone fucking spaghetti westerns and watching like Peck and Paw movies and stuff. Like my grandpa was the biggest western fan on earth, and I watched all that stuff when I was a kid, watching fucking Adam West do spaghetti westerns from the 60s and shit. Like I love that shit.
Oh yeah.
And then fucking, like, Tarantino adds his own thing into it. Like, he loves excessive gore. He loves ridiculous gore, which I like ridiculous gore.
He does, yeah.
But, like, it's incredibly well shot. It's a beautiful love letter to, like, the spaghetti western in general.
That Hateful Eight, I've heard
are,
like, really good.
Jamie Foxx is absolutely fucking amazing,
Yeah.
but that's nothing new. Like, he's a brilliant actor, too.
As long as he's not in a Spider-Man
Christoph Waltz, man. Like, holy shit. Like, I knew he was great. And I've seen him in other things. But, like... I was legitimately bummed out when what happens to his character happens. I ain't going to spoil it, but like, if you haven't seen it.
Every movie I've ever seen him in, even if it's like, you know, what is it, that Battle Angel movie and some other ones that I've seen him in, even if it's stuff where it's like, it sucks, he is always that bright, shining fucking thing.
He is often the best part of whatever he's in.
Oh my god, like, such a good actor and stuff. Like, in his craft, he's amazing. And he makes it look so just, like, natural.
It's very natural. It's very subtle. Like, there's some, like, scenes I could call out specifically where you really see the scope of his ability.
He has played...
The guy's amazing.
Yeah, he's played some of the ones where he is just the downright most vile villain ever, and you're like, oh my god, I hate him. And then he has played in other ones where you're like, oh my god, he's so caring. Why is he not my dad?
Yeah, like, no, I loved it.
Like, how can the same person do it? And you know who else does it? That I always fucking thought of the same way? Gary Oldman.
Oh, yeah, I love Gary Oldman.
Because you look at him and, like, when he played Dr. Smith, and then when you look at him as, like, Commissioner Gordon and shit like that, and, like, other films, you're like, oh my god, he can literally flip it.
He's a chameleon. Yeah. No, I really could not recommend it enough.
You guys gotta watch Hateful Eight now.
Yeah, no, that's on the list, too, because I'm definitely going through a Western phase right now.
Because that's Samuel L. and Kurt
Samuel L. Jackson makes you hate him so bad in Django. Like, he looks like...
Black Snake Moan?
Well, no, he looks like the Uncle Ben's Rice guy. Like,
oh, I know, but have you seen Black Snake Moan?
That movie's fucked up, too, yeah.
Like... Because he makes you hate him in that one, too. He's very fucked up in that and shit. And that's where when I saw him in that, I was like, oh, this is a very familiar look.
DiCaprio, I will say, like, as much as I dislike him heavily or whatever, he's really good. He was doing, like, little shit that was, like, he was, like, making up words. Like, he was a guy who mentions that he went to prep school, but he's very, like, not all that smart, but thinks that he is.
Yeah.
His teeth are fucking gross.
Yeah.
He's like this wealthy, like, super rich plantation owner, but his teeth are, like, black as fucking brown. Yeah. Like, they're horrifying.
Yeah, but he does that.
And he's always sucking on his teeth and shit. He calls his fucking plantation Candyland because his last name is Candy. And it's like, ugh. And, like, they go to meet him or whatever. Like, I'm going to go through, like, a whole review of the movie or anything, but this is, like, one thing that I enjoyed, like, his lawyer is like, oh, he prefers to be called Monsieur because he likes French stuff, but he can't speak French.
Yeah.
And he's like, because Christoph Waltz started speaking French, he's like, oh god, don't like speak French in front of him, it makes him feel stupid.
Yeah.
And it's just like this weird little character shit. Like, he also has a creepy ass relationship with his sister because like they go back to the plantation at some point and he like puts a big kiss on this lady or whatever, and I'm like, god, like his wife is homely. And Errol was like, no, they just said that was his sister, and I'm like, he kissed her deeply on the mouth. I'm very disturbed by that. And then it happens again later on, and I'm like, ugh.
He's a good fucking character, man. We've all heard the story about like where he smashes the glass and it's like he's really bleeding and shit, and they were about to cut it, and he just
is in that movie, yeah,
because he just keeps going, and they're like, oh god, we got to use it because it was so fucking like he does not break stride.
No, when it happens, he looks down at his hand for a second, pulls a piece of glass out, keeps going. Like he never breaks character.
Has the cigarette and everything like that.
He literally pulled a piece of fucking glass out of his hand because that wasn't supposed to happen.
No.
And I'm like, God damn, dude! Like you're impressive. I fucking hate you.
Yeah,
but you're impressive.
That's why he got like so many like things for like The Revenant and The Great Gatsby and like all kinds of stuff. Is like he went into some shit and stuff. But yeah, that movie is very
highly recommended.
Like
I could not recommend it higher.
And
you need to watch it.
I'm gonna have to watch.
And also, I want to watch. I want to watch Hateful Eight, but I also want to watch Bone Tomahawk because it's like one that was shot right at the exact time that they made Hateful Eight, and it's like a horror western.
Yes.
Super interested in that.
Yeah.
And I fucking love me some Kurt Russell. I don't fucking care what he's in.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a Kurt Russell mark, for sure.
Yeah. There's also that one where it's like the melody or the ballad of Russell Skaggs.
Oh, the Buster Scruggs thing?
Buster Scruggs or whatever, yeah. That one.
That's got Tim Blake Nelson. I'm pretty much good.
Yeah,
I'm good. I love that guy.
Yeah, interesting. It's I'm kind of getting back into my more Western thing, and honestly, I'll say what it was is watching scenes from Yellowstone. Because that would cause if Kevin Costner's in anything Western,
I'm so sign me the fuck up, man.
Like it's golden for me.
It doesn't even have to be straight up Western. Like I was excited about Hatfield and McCoy's, and it's not even really a Western.
No, but it's like that.
It's got Bill Paxton and him.
Like when we watched on Netflix, when we watched that one with him and
the one with him and Woody Harrelson, where they're
with
the
FBI guy,
thing.
When they're going after when they're going after Bonnie and Clyde.
Yeah, that was. I would highly recommend that too. Like that was fucking great.
That one was good.
I'm a Kevin Costner mark for sure. In some things,
it's some things.
Yeah, it's like if it's westerns or period stuff, I'm good.
If The Bodyguard had never been made, I would be okay.
Yeah, I'd be okay.
Now, if the soundtrack never got made, that would be sad. But
hey, that's a Dolly song. You want to talk about something funny?
Yeah. No, that's me and Amar, like my coworker, talked about that, and we were basically because we were watching music videos, and Every Little Step I Take by Bobby Brown, and I was one of the best. I was like, yes, I was like, I love this song. I was like, I honestly just wish Bobby Brown and Whitney Houston had never gotten together. Like, that's all I ever wish.
It would have been such a better world for both of them, I'm sure.
For both of them, because, he was doing good things, she was doing good things, and then they met, and cocaine. And cocaine and beatings. And it was like, God damn it, we might have never gotten The Bodyguard, I'd have been okay with that. And then while we're playing, I'm, half dancing around to Every Little Step. Because I was like, yeah, it's one of my jams.
This has been the most all over the place fucking show. We're just going in weird ass directions.
Oh yeah.
So there was one last piece of news, but it's not all serious and shit. No. But I don't know if any of you guys have been. If you're comic nerds, you've probably been watching The Boys on Amazon.
First season, second season, first and second season. To be, I think, in September. It drops.
Now I've read some of the comic, but I haven't read a ton of it. But I get the gist.
Yeah.
And, I haven't got around to actually watching the show yet, but it's on the list of upcoming shit. I want to wait till season 2 drops, because I don't like watching just a single season of something. It kind of just... Because if I like it, I want more than just one season. But... Yeah. Apparently, Jensen Ackles is joining the show for season 3.
Yeah.
As Soldier Boy, who's their equivalent, sort of Captain America. But in not a good way.
Not a good way. Like a very... dark parody of it, and all the ways Captain is good, Soldier Boy is not.
So it's interesting because he of course was one of the many guys who went up for Cap when they did the Avengers and Cap and shit. So a lot of people really thought he should have got that part, and I would have enjoyed that too, I'm sure. But Chris Evans has been amazing.
I think he would have made an amazing Cap. I kind of, as much as I like Jeremy Renner.
I think he would have been a better Hawkeye.
I think he would have been the better Hawkeye. I think, because, he did such a great voice work for Red Hood and, his Dean on Supernatural. He just fits in that role of the, like, you're a good guy, but you're not the cleanest of good guys kind of one. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm excited for that too. I love Jensen Ackles. I watched the good seasons of Supernatural.
I do too. I'm interested in to see how they do it, because what I read on Soldier Boy, and knowing of what I know of, like, Jensen and his, like, comedy and acting and stuff like that, I don't know what to expect, because I don't know how true they're going to stick to everything that happens, because there's some very fucked up shit that happens with Soldier Boy. Like that thing I told you with Homelander. That I don't know if they'll go down. It's just...
We'll see. I mean, from what I understand, even though I haven't seen any of it, but what I understand, they haven't pulled many punches when it comes to the characterizations and stuff on there.
And, like, man, Carl Urban, I love him. So, you know, I need to... Once season 2 drops, I'm definitely going to, like, start watching it.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But, yeah, that's awesome, especially considering what the post-Supernatural gigs that they've gotten so far, because we heard what Jared's supposed next thing is. And
Not supposed, this is fully happening.
I know, but it's like one of those things where it's like, until
Walker, Texas Ranger
until it airs, I don't know if it's actually happening.
You just wish it wasn't.
Oh no, last night on YouTube, or this morning on YouTube, a video popped up on my feed, like, recommended for you, and it was the clips from when Hogan and Sting were both on
Walker.
Texas Ranger.
Well, hell, Austin was on there.
Yeah, well, no, it was funny.
Goldberg was on there.
Yeah, it was funny to watch because it showed how glaringly bad of an actor Hogan is and how awesome of an actor Sting actually is.
I'm going to tell you how weird my memory is. I remember Hogan's character was named Boomer Knight.
Yes. Yes.
I don't know why I remember that. Dude, Walker, Texas Ranger, I'm going to tell you what, is one of the worst shows in the history of television. No offense to Chuck Norris, because he'd kill me.
No.
But literally one of the worst. There's literally an episode of that fucking show where the Power Team is on there.
Yes.
And it's like part of the plot.
Yes.
And if you guys don't know what the Power Team is, just look it up.
Oh my God.
Like, I will tell you, it is a big old group of bodybuilding Christian advocates.
Superheroes.
Yes,
they were billed as fucking, like, modern day superheroes.
Yeah,
like,
I actually have seen them live.
I didn't see them live, but I owned a bunch of the shit. Like, because they were billed as, like, superheroes.
Yeah.
These guys were, like, they would do their shows and stuff like
Rip
that.
phone books in
with
half.
The power of Jesus, and just, like, destroying shit. And you're like, holy crap, that guy's hopped up on Jesus juice.
Yeah, a.k.a. anabolic steroids.
Well, we'll talk about that one out later. But these guys were like, if you literally took, like, modern-day superheroes, the A-Team, and, like, all the... Because I'm pretty sure, like, in the dramatization, they had their own van, too, where they was, like...
Yeah, dude, they were fucking...
I was like, oh, my God. But, yes, they were...
It's one of the worst shows in television history. I'm just going to tell you that right now.
That is what Jared Padalecki is doing after Supernatural.
Cleopatra 2020 ain't got nothing on there. 2075, whatever the fuck it was, ain't got nothing on that.
Nothing.
Viper has nothing on Walker Texas Ranger.
Yeah, no.
I would almost say that Thunder in Paradise is better.
I was about to say.
It's close.
That's where I'm pretty sure he got the idea. Was like, Thunder in Paradise is the other... Which is like, when Sting was on that, he still outshined. Oh, no, wait. Hold on. You still got Baywatch.
Baywatch is its own animal, man.
Yeah,
like,
but I mean, like,
it
in the scope of things...
The problem... The difference is that Walker took itself seriously.
Baywatch took itself seriously for so long.
In the first season, yes.
Once
they became out in the fucking weird shit.
Yeah, but they didn't. No. That wasn't till like seasons later that they got out in the crazy shit. Like they had Hogan,
Flair, Vader,
and
Sid Vicious.
Sid Vicious was Macho on it, or Sting?
I can't remember. One of them was. Jesus Christ, it was awful.
Crazy shit. But yes, so he's
Fuck
gonna.
Baywatch,
So Jensen is gonna be on The Boys season 3, and that's gonna be awesome because that's great. And then Jared
Padalecki is gonna be Walker fucking Texas Ranger 2.0.
And I'm like, if he's not doing roundhouse kicks every episode, I'm disappointed. That clip I saw of where he fought Sting, literally he rode up on a Harley, hopped up on it.
Yes, he did.
Jumped, kicked Sting, who's a biker in this thing, off of it. And man, you could tell whoever the stunt guy was broke something. All of while he's fighting him in that big-ass suede, poofy, like jacket that I used to only see women wear.
Yes, and the fact that none of these kicks came more than 7 inches away from any of these guys.
Like
woo!
I'm like, holy mother God, this is the guy who fought Bruce Lee.
It's not time to plug shit, but I will quickly plug this just because it's finally out in public or whatever, and it's totally pertaining to this. I just finished a writing submission for a book that's in the works from the awesome Dave Hayes, who did The Rot and who works with Source Point and did the awesome Bunny movie and shit. Dave organized a bunch of us together, a lot of different writers, comedians, podcasters, comic book guys and whatever. And we all took a single Steven Seagal film or show and did our own writing piece about it. Mine was Fire Down Below because it's my favorite one.
Oh, yeah.
And one of the few that are not absolutely fucking horrible.
No, because it has Chris Christopherson. You can't be a horrible movie.
But it's called Hard to Watch, the films of Steven Seagal. And other ones are planned in the future. I'm not allowed, I'm not at liberty to say
I was
what else
sad
is planned.
I didn't get to do my favorite, which was the Native American one.
Oh, God, On Deadly Ground.
On Deadly Ground, which has Michael Caine.
But I'm going to have a piece in there. Our illustrious El Jefe Pat Koala has a piece in there. Corey's got a piece in there. A bunch of other people. It's like 40 different people. We're all...
Because he's just got a never-ending stream of fucking movies.
I feel bad for the people who had to do the movies that are the more recent shit. Because, God, they just keep getting worse and worse, and he keeps putting less and less effort into it.
No, I feel, excited for them. Because, man, this is going to be some of the good stuff. Because, in the other earlier ones, he tried. In these ones, you get to talk about how, a movie can be made with somebody's name and him be literally in it for, 5 minutes. Maybe no dialogue.
I don't remember the name of the movie.
A guy in a chair.
Yeah. Oh, God. We can do a whole show on fucking Steven Seagal, seriously. But there's a movie that him and Mike Tyson are both in. That's a more recent. It's like a Japanese movie.
Yeah.
Please, God, go and seek this out. Just go to YouTube and type in Mike Tyson, Steven Seagal. You will not be fucking disappointed. It is one of the most hilarious, weird, trippy ass, fucked up things I've ever seen.
The one I'm waiting for because I watched some Steven Seagal stuff, but I also wasn't necessarily I was a fan, but not a huge fan because I don't really care for his portrayal of that martial arts style.
Yes.
But Van Damme, holy crap, that's the one I want. I want that book. The Van Damme
I'd say, Dave, if you're listening, we need to do a Van Damme book, and I would definitely call probably Time Cop if I was going to call one for myself.
I want the one where he's twins.
Oh, God, Double Impact.
Yes.
Double Impact. You know what we should do? We should introduce, we've been doing movie reviews and shit again. We should start doing fucked up, mindless action movies.
Oh, from
fuck Sudden Death and shit like that, so or Universal Soldier. Oh, God. If we're going to do a Universal Soldier, it should be The Return, because that is just fucking blatantly awful.
Dude, but Michael Jai White, baby.
Yeah, but that movie's terrible. Dude.
Oh, it is terrible, but it's fucking... Oh, man, which is so sad because...
And it has wrestling tie-ins, too, so it would work well for us because of that.
Yeah, but... Oh, man. Van Damme has some ones that are woo! Holy shit. I'm just going to go ahead and throw it out there because it would probably be one of the best ones I would love to do other than the Twins one. I'd take Street Fighter. In a heartbeat, I would take Street Fighter.
I remember watching a thing where he was talking about being, massively coked out of his mind doing that movie.
Yes.
Holy shit. Could you just imagine what it would be like to hang out with coked up Van Damme? That would be some fucking shit right there.
I would, because one, I'm a huge Street Fighter fan. That was the game. I played that more than I played Mortal Kombat. Two was, I was also a Van Damme fan, and, it has Raul Julia and, a bunch of other known actors that were really good. It was just a hot fucking mess from start to finish.
Oh, yeah.
It was just great. One of the best ones, though, was, have you ever heard Liam Hemsworth's story about Van Damme when he was on Unbeatables or whatever.
Fuck, what is it? Expendables.
Expendables 2,
No.
when Van Damme was the bad guy.
No.
He talks about meeting him on the Graham show, the Graham Norton show.
Norton, yeah.
You know who else was sitting on the couch that knows, like, that has interacted with him? Jeff Goldblum was on that episode.
God.
If you want to watch pure gold, go on YouTube, look up Graham Norton, Liam Hemsworth, Jeff Goldblum, and they all talk about Van Damme. And Liam Hemsworth talks about having to do this scene with him.
God.
And it is one of the greatest things I have ever heard. We'll watch it after this.
I literally can't even imagine what Jeff Goldblum and Jean-Claude Van Damme in the same room would be like. I would probably...
Well, no, because it's like he's telling this story, and Graham's like, have you met him? And Jeff's like, oh, yeah. And Jeff's doing the, yeah, I've met him. And him and Graham have this, moment of, yeah, we met him and stuff, and, Liam's trying to tell this story, and he's like, oh, just wait, just
if Jeff Goldblum thinks you're crazy, you may have hit a hell of a fucking point there. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah.
So...
I want that. That's the book I want.
That is, yes. One. Dave, if you're listening.
Van Damme, it has to be, man.
Dave, if you're listening.
Yeah, God. Yeah.
If he's not listening, everybody that is, just go and tell Dave, hey, you want that book.
It's got to be in the trilogy of books. You need the Van Damme, man.
Hell, you could probably do one for all the luminary action guys of the 80s and 90s and shit. That have, a good... I mean, Schwarzenegger would be hard because he's got a lot of good movies, so it'd be hard to riff him. But
he's also got...
Yeah, he's got some bad ones,
Jingle
too.
All the Way.
Jingle All the Way. No, let's not talk about Jingle All the Way today.
Last Action Hero.
I love Last Action Hero. I stand by the fact that Last Action Hero is a misunderstood movie.
It is, but public conception of that movie and the way it was shot is
fair.
A very, I'm not saying it's a bad movie. I'm just saying there's a lot there to talk about.
I think people just missed the point.
It is, because the point gets muddied in it very easily.
I get that. But I can see the bones of what's there, and it's good stuff. We're one way off topic.
Then there's the one where he gets the clones, too. The Sixth Day or whatever and shit like that. Why is this action thing at some point you have to have a movie where you have clone? Jet Li had fucking one double impact. Why do you have to clone yourself? Why do there have to be what the only person that could be the greatest enemy or my greatest ally is myself? And I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake, this is always the mark of quality here.
Oh, God. Well, so anyway, all that shit. Yep. We got 2 little pieces of wrestling news, and then we can wrap it up. One little one and one kind of fucking weird one.
Yeah.
So, of course, AEW is, the up-and-coming big organization right now, and for the first time since the inception of the...
9 months ago.
Yeah, 9 months ago, since the inception of the company, they've actually released a couple of performers, which is kind of a huge thing for them. But
2 of them make sense.
Yes.
Because of, the pandemic and stuff. It was 2 of their female wrestlers that were both British that have not been able to come over.
Bea Priestley and Sadie Gibbs.
Yeah, they have not been able to come over and film anything, so they, being smart, let them go and stuff like that. And from what I understand, the Sadie Gibbs, she was super thankful and was like, I appreciate it.
They were both very complimentary about the whole thing.
The third one is the one I actually expected, and I'm not surprised. It was
Jimmy Havoc.
Jimmy Havoc got fired.
He's a name. He is a larger name for sure.
He is a name, but the thing that he went to rehab or went to counseling for is what I figured was going to get him shit canned.
So back on June 19th, they announced that they were going to evaluate his status with the company after he completed rehab for mental health and substance abuse challenges that he was having. But he's 36. He was accused of rape, abusive behavior,
sexual misconduct,
and assault.
All kinds of stuff.
And that big old thing that happened in wrestling where everybody just got called on and everything.
Yeah.
And if those, this is a guy who has a lot of bad baggage, and he did go to rehab in June, but I think that they were cutting bait, basically, at this point. It's
I think from what I also heard, it's one of those things where he wasn't receptive necessarily to it.
Yes. And that's the difference. They had the thing with Sammy Guevara, but he was receptive to it. He went. He is putting in the time. He's still doing it.
Yep.
I don't feel like, from what I understand, that Jimmy Havoc is really
I
giving a
think
shit
he's
about
very
it.
set in his ways and very much like, I didn't do anything wrong or any of that stuff. No, we don't know for a fact. But from what I gather, it seemed very much like either he wasn't receptive to it, or they just didn't think it was enough and it wasn't helping, or like whatever it was, they felt they needed to, part ways from him and the company.
Yeah, I don't blame him. I mean, you got to do what you have to do that's healthy for the company.
But on the flip side of that, in NXT news, Velveteen Dream showed back up after being taken off TV for his little thing.
So Triple H's statement on that was that they investigated and they found nothing.
Which is hilarious. Like, it's not hilarious. It's sad because there are people that have come out, like other wrestlers, that have said that, like, they saw this stuff happen, and basically they are now, like, worried for their future in the wrestling business because they feel like what they said got basically swept under the rug, and that they will be basically blacklisted for speaking out.
It's 100% valid.
Yeah. I mean, it is one of those where it's like, I don't know. But for me, I know he's a good wrestler. I'm not saying he's a bad wrestler or anything like that, but he's like one of those guys where I don't think he's ever going to leave NXT. Like,
no, he's not. His gimmick does not work on the main roster in any way, shape, or form.
And I know they're like, they're all equal shows.
No, they're not.
They're not. Like, NXT just has more of a following, but the thing is, he's going to be one of those guys that it's like he's going to live. Unless he leaves the WWE, he's going to live and die on NXT.
Yep.
Like, it just doesn't. It doesn't work.
Yeah, I agree with that 150%. Some gimmicks just don't work on the main. Like the vaudevillains were a perfect example of that. Some shit works in NXT, but it doesn't work in the main thing and it's their fault in a lot of respects. But it's also some characters work on a small scale, but not on a larger scale.
Like there's indie characters, and then there's like mainstream characters, and that's usually very dependent on where wrestling's at in the world.
Yeah,
like if they're trying to be more true to form and a lot more like real storylines, those characters aren't going to work. Now, if it goes back to like when everything's just big, larger than life, really super gimmicky, then they'll work. But like,
it's also a dangerous gimmick because it plays on those same sort of things that like the Goldust gimmick does. It plays on fear of homoeroticism and shit.
Yep.
But this is not a time for that sort of thing. To be honest, like. They dance around the character being homoerotic and stuff, but it's never blatantly said that he's supposed to be.
No, he is.
It's
basically it's played more like he just tries to get under your skin.
Right, it's like mind freaking shit. The thing is, like that was something when they did Goldust, in the early '90s or whatever. The climate was different when in viewing homoerotic behavior and homosexual behavior in general. Now, not so much. Like, this is a different world we live in, so you have to be really fucking careful towing that line.
And I mean, you've seen it. Like, if you look at now in AEW, the evolution of where Goldust, Dustin Rhodes is now, he's in that tag team, the Natural Nightmares, with, I can't remember his name. The guy he always tags with,
Was it Sonny Kiss?
No.
Because I love that dude.
No, he's cool. I forget what he is.
Quentin something or other, maybe?
I have no idea. I'd have to look it up and stuff. It's like one of those names where it's like it clicks when you hear it and you're like, oh, yeah, that guy. It's the one that it's always him and Cody's wife and the third guy. Or I mean the second guy. But like if you look, he doesn't even do the full makeup. His color's completely changed. His wrestling style is completely changed. Like he has evolved out of that gimmick and realized
QT Marshall.
Yeah, QT Marshall. Yeah. They're the Natural Nightmares now.
Yeah.
That's their thing. But like, he is probably at his best right now.
Oh yeah,
and
absolutely.
He's become way better than what he was, and he was smart enough to know what he could keep from that gimmick and what he couldn't, evolve it.
It's a product of the time period.
Product of the time period, but was smart enough to evolve it too. And it's kind of sad to see that this kind of happened. That now, granted, I don't know if anything did or not, but there was a lot of
allegations there that sounded very serious, and it was a very kind of a curt statement to just be like, well, we looked into it and we didn't find anything. That does not feel like you put your whole ass in there.
No.
Does it?
That feels like you kind of fucking instead of putting a toe in, you put the top of your foot in the water, and you're like, okay, yeah, that's not that bad, but you didn't.
I don't even feel like a half an ass is in there. I feel like a quarter of an ass is in there,
Yeah.
maybe, like half a cheek.
I mean, but to be honest, right now, WWE is not in the greatest things because they've got that dumbass fucking underground crap.
I don't even want to talk about that shit. We're already at an hour and I can't get into that fucking shit right now.
Right now, they
do
are...
about 4 fucking hours about how stupid that shit is.
But I mean, it's not even that. Like, right now, unfortunately, they are just getting their asses handed to them religiously because they're looking at common sense, good choices, and being like, let's just do 180 completely away from that. And it's like...
100%.
Yeah,
And poor fucking people that are working there, like Sonya Deville, that's the other big piece of wrestling news.
This is interesting.
Literally, a man has been stalking her online for something like 9 months now, plus, and he broke into her fucking, house and, cut a hole in her fucking screen and shit.
Yeah, so he got on the property and made his way to, actually got to the house, was able to get... I don't want to say got in the house. I don't know if he got in the house or was trying to. He was
trying to. He cut a hole in her screen
he was in there. I don't know if she was home or if what happened, but security was alerted. Cops got there, found him on the premises. Mm-hmm. He did not get away.
Duct tape, zip ties, chloroform, and mace, and a bunch of other shit.
Had this shit on him. He was ready to go. If he had got in there and she was there, she was coming home with him. Mm-hmm. That's how this was going. And
Thank God he wasn't very smart.
No. The other thing is, they showed a mugshot of this guy. Okay, first off...
He looks like he's friends with meth, I'll tell you that right now.
Cuckoo for Cocoa Pants, that's definitely true. But he is also this scrawny-ass little fucking dude that I'm pretty sure I
feel like she'd have beat the shit out of him.
If he couldn't have gotten her with the chloroform... She'd have whooped his ass so damn bad.
Sonya ain't no joke. She's a trained MMA fighter. She's a fucking monster, dude. She would fucking
chloroform or not, I think she'd have beat the shit out of him. And he literally, I
hate to say this, but wouldn't it have been kind of hilarious if that would have happened? God, no. We would never want anything to happen to her or whatever. But if she'd have, walked out in the fucking yard and just kicked the living piss shit out of that guy.
Yeah.
I would have laughed my ass off.
If the cops showed up and she had his ass in a rear naked choke, just holding him, I got him.
Got him.
Man, both of his bones are broken. Yep, got him.
But she's got, I guess there's a restraining order, of course, God, and, protective order and shit, and, they're prosecuting his ass to the fullest extent.
Full extent.
But he's obviously fucking mentally unbalanced.
I mean, that's the one thing, though, because, if you've looked at things in the past, they do not take well to that stuff. Any time fans have jumped the barricades
they get their asses kicked.
Either they get their asses kicked or they are immediately, and every time they are you look at the Hall of Fame stuff with Bret Hart. That guy caught the most hellacious ass whooping I have ever seen in my life. They held him there for a while to beat him before they drug him out. And this was not security. This was all the wrestlers.
Oh, yeah.
Big E, all these boys beat the crap out of him. If you ever watch that clip, go, because it's just awesome to watch somebody get mercilessly. Heath Slater, all these boys
whoop that guy's ass. He deserved it. Fuck you. Don't touch Bret Hart. It's not okay.
Tackled Bret Hart while he was doing the induction for fucking Neidhart. Fuck you, dude.
It's not okay.
Then you also look at some of that times where that one fan that jumped the barricade to try and join the Shield, wore the tack gear them and stuff. Man, they do not play around with that shit. Not only do you pretty much get the crap kicked out of you by their security, but then they also will fullest every extent they can prosecute you.
Not only that, but fucking they will ban you from events for life.
Oh yeah,
They don't
there's a
fucking
list of guys that are just like no go.
Yeah, they will literally ban people. Like, you are never allowed to fucking come back to any WWE show.
You can't order tickets online. Like,
Nope,
they have
nothing.
all of your information, and every piece of it is on the, like, no-go list.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy, dude.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that they caught the dumb son of a bitch before he did anything terrible or whatever. But I would have loved to see her take a good, like, solid ass whipping on the bastard.
Yeah.
But, yeah, no, I think that's got to wrap it up. We're a little bit past an hour, but I'm still semi-lucid.
Yeah,
I feel like I'm like drooping worse here at this point, though. I feel like it's almost time for another one because my mouth's starting to fucking hurt again.
Oh, God.
But if you like what you heard this week on the Basement Fodder Podcast, you can, of course, always find us at our network home of digitalnerdage.com. You can find us on Spotify. You can find us on iTunes. You can find us on Spreaker.com. You can find us on basically anywhere that you can listen to a podcast. You can find our show. LimeWire, Frostwire, Napster.com. If your bag is more the indie comics interview stuff, Ariel and I are doing new shows. We just had a new show posted last week where we reviewed, I think, 6 different comics, indie comics from different luminaries, such as Landon Faulkner, Stephanie Menard. Who else? I got the fucking stack is right here. Hell, I can just literally reference it.
Just remember, kids, you save big money at Menards.
Yes, you do. We did the Aeonian. We talked about the Aeonian book a little bit.
Yep.
We did The Last Heist by Stephanie Menard. We did Monkey's Paw by Landon Faulkner. We did the Tesla books. And we also did Firefly, Luminous Firefly 1 and 2. So we have a whole, just all indie comics review show out there. If you want to check that out at the Todd Files, you can find us on social media. I'm Todd Dave. He's Dave Basement of Doom.
And that beeping is Todd's phone.
It's my phone blowing up because I think that just Ariel finally came back. We've been dog sitting for a friend. And she just came back.
So cute. He's waiting at the door for you guys.
No, it's my mother texting me. I don't want to talk about that.
That's fun for after the show.
But please, check us out in every form or whatever. We also have some YouTube stuff that we've been doing lately, and things will be posted at some point. Ariel's having some trouble doing some editing on some of the videos that we've done. We did a tasting video a while back that still hasn't gone up because of that. So that was the Mountain Dew Violet and the Orange Pepsi and the Strawberry Coke. Spoilers on that. That Strawberry Coke was one of the worst things I've ever tasted. But that'll do it for this week. As always, I'm Todd.
I'm Dave.
And until next time, the basement door is closed.
Later, bitches.